Molly.
I'm Janet. Welcome to the KnowZone. This is a place where we have fun as we
Wait, hey! Whoa, what's going on? Manu! Where's the lighting crew?
Wait, is the show still on? Cameras, are you recording?
Hello? Marara, what's going on? What's up with the lights?
Well, I'm the one who turned down the studio lights.
Now, why would you do that, Mara?
Well, because they're taking so much energy and, it's contributing to climate change.
Okay, this is a discussion we can have. Just wait for a minute. Studio crew, could you turn the lights up? Please.
What?
Look, Mara, I get it. It's great. You want to work to preserve the environment and stop climate change. But we kind of need the lights to shoot the show.
Yeah, protecting the environment is all about not wasting resources. Listen, if we left the studio lights on all night, then that would be irresponsible.
Wait, Mara, I'm sure that there are other ways for you to work out how to save the environment and to stop climate change. How about you think about that?
Well, yeah, I'll start thinking about it.
Good to hear. Wait, Mara, do you even know what causes climate change?
Oh, yes, I do. Now, climate change is caused by the lights?
Don't worry. And for you at home, stay tuned because we still have a lot of great parts lined up for today's show. We have Junction Teens, Out There, Cool Words, Hot Numbers, the Big Three, Spell It, just to name a few. And today's show is all about climate change.
That's right. So let's head to the chill out zone and meet today's studio guest.
Come on, Mara.
Lights? Out?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are very excited to be doing this show with you today. Are you all excited to be here?
Yes.
Very well, because we are very happy that you were able to join us today. And for you at home, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you on the KnowZone.
Well, hello everyone.
Hello.
Are you all ready to learn about climate change?
Yes.
Right.
Very well, because today's show is all about weather and climate.
That's right. Now, who wants to tell us what buzzwords we should be looking out for?
Temperature. Wind. Storm. Mist.
Well said, everyone.
Now make sure that you're looking out for today's buzzwords throughout the show, and you could start with the first show that's coming up.
Yes, indeed. Stay glued as we follow the lives of the teenagers in Makutano. It's all happening on Junction Teens.
With this in mind, it is shocking that no one seems to care enough to want to make changes to the environment. Instead, the developed countries are busy accusing other developed countries of global warming, instead of uniting to see how we can all contribute in helping heal Mother Earth. Yes, Bakari?
Teacher Pendo, you've mentioned something about unexpected weather conditions. Is this related to global warming?
Absolutely. Now, I have statistics here with me that show just how badly we are doing. The climate has gotten confused by all our doing, and a place like Makutano, which has never experienced extreme weather conditions, could do so in the future.
How soon in the future?
Well, a storm is forecast for later today, but we'll be all right. It's not the end of the world quite yet.
You think?
Brian, calm down. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to emphasize the importance of taking care of our environment.
But you can't be sure.
Well, I'm sure I'll be seeing you tomorrow in class. What we cannot be sure about is the impact of climate change in the longer term. Like what we experienced with the death and destruction caused by the tsunami.
Well, I guess we have to combat climate change by all means. But how can we do this, Teacher Pendo?
Well, that's a very good question, Bakari. We can all do our part to help. Every small bit will make a big difference. Now, for your homework, I'd like you to think of ways that we can help protect the environment. Think of how we can protect our natural resources.
Brian.
What?
Class is over.
Is the storm here?
What are you talking about?
I guess that was an eye-opening lesson.
Good luck with your homework. I look forward to hearing what you'll all have come up with. And remember what I said about the storm. So you better head home now.
I'm telling you guys, the world is going to end.
Relax,
Chapter
Brian.
said so.
Relax, Brian. I don't think that's exactly what Chapenda said.
Brian, you've gone mad.
Let's just go to the hideout and discuss climate change. It's important.
Didn't Chapenda tell us to go home? There's a storm coming.
What does she know?
Why are grown-ups so obsessed with the weather? The rain is coming, whatever.
Okay, the hideout it is.
You're coming with us?
Sorry, I promised Amos we'd chase some dogs or something, so...
Brian, are you heading to the hideout?
I can't believe you guys still ain't taking this seriously. I'm telling you, you're in trouble. I tell you, we are doomed.
Brian, I hate to say this, but Amos is right. You need some help.
Enough of this. Let's head to the hideout.
I'm not going anywhere unless I have some chocolate.
Fine. Bakari and I'll go get some supplies. We'll meet you there.
Go get some crisps too and some sodas.
The world is not going to end.
Have you seen the strange mist? How the rains are delayed? And how the temperature is all over the place?
So?
A storm is coming. And it's going to destroy us all. So we have to be prepared.
You don't think there's any truth in what Brian is saying?
Well, the weather is kind of weird at the moment.
Yeah, the world isn't going to end. I know Brian and he's in his own little world. And let's look on the bright side. And if the world does end tonight, what would be the best place to spend our last hours than our luxurious hideout?
The end of the world is coming. You must realize.
So, you're the
The
expert.
Son of God is
What
about
Brian
to
said
come.
isn't true. The world is not ending, is it?
These are the signs.
You see, like Teacher
We are
Pendo
living in
said,
the end
climate
time.
change is very serious. Just
If
see
you
what
don't
it has
believe
done
me,
to our Earth's temperature.
see what
And I
is
think
in
there's
the
going to be
sky.
a storm.
The heavens
But the
have
world is
changed.
not ending.
You no longer
The
see
Lord
the
is
earth.
going to devastate the earth and leave it desolate. He is going to squeeze the surface of the earth and leave it ruined. Everyone is going to face the same fate. Preachers and the people. Borrowers and lenders. Masters and slaves. Sellers and buyers like you. The rich and the poor. The earth is going to be left destroyed and ruined. The Lord has spoken, and it will be done. Oh, the great day of the Lord is near, very near, and fast. You must remember that day is going to be a very bitter day, for even the very brave soldiers will be crying in despair. Repent. 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 Repent, all of you.
So what Brian said, he had a point
Repent,
after
my
all.
brother. Repent, my sister. The Lord is calling you. He still loves you. He has never forsaken you.
Lightning. Lightning.
What are you doing here now, Junction team?
I just came to listen to some of your wild stories about how the world is going to end. They're so entertaining.
We just wanted shelter before the storm started, and, well, we didn't think you'd mind.
You see? You see now? There's a storm coming and the world is about to end. And thanks to you, Freddy, I'm going to spend my last day with Amos.
Great. A storm is coming and Brian is lost outside.
I didn't think you'd care.
Guys, what's happening? We just met Brian running away.
He kept on going about stories of how the world is going to end.
We just wanted somewhere to shelter before the storm.
Relax, relax. He'll be back. It's not as if the world is really going to end.
Guys, there was nobody on the street. The street was deserted.
Except a preacher.
A preacher?
Yes, he was telling us that the end of the world is near.
That preacher might have been wrong.
Oh boy. Don't tell me the world is going to end and I've not done all I wanted to do.
Diana, now that the world is ending, I have a confession to make.
The world is not ending. What do you want to share?
You mean after all those signs you still don't believe? Anyway, when you first arrived, I really didn't like you.
Why? I didn't do anything wrong, did I?
My point exactly. You were this perfect chick, every hair in place, and with your polished grammar I was jealous. I thought Freddie might fall for you.
Come on. Freddie is so in love with you. He doesn't even notice if other girls exist.
You think so?
I know so. He's head over heels in love with you. He is not my type.
Really? So, who's your taste?
I'm not telling you.
Just tell me. I've already told you my secret.
Yeah, tell us, Dan. I'm also curious. Okay. Tall, dark, and handsome.
Babu.
Shh. Now you want to tell the whole world?
My gosh, I would never have guessed.
Me too. Diana and Babu.
Guys, the thunder is getting louder.
I hope Brian is okay.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He has probably found somebody to bore with his tales of doom.
Brian.
Wow, we thought that you had been struck by lightning.
Guys, there's no one in the street. And even when I went home, my grandparents weren't there.
Where were they?
I don't know, but the streets are deserted.
Or they've been taken to heaven, just as the Bible says.
It's raining, so I can't go back. And worse, it's gotten dark. The bridge is wobbling.
Hey, but you look dressed up.
Eh? I'm smart, eh?
Yeah, what's the big occasion?
You don't want to go to heaven as the smartest thing there is. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, friend. When they ask for a referee in heaven, count me in.
Trust me. When the time comes, you'll get a VIP treatment.
What are you doing?
I don't think in heaven they have chocolate like this.
You miss Amishi, don't you?
Very much. What I wouldn't do for her to be here with me.
I have something to tell you, but on condition you won't get mad at me.
That was close. Anyway, what is it you wanted to tell me?
I have been indirectly discouraging her from dating you.
What? How could you do that?
I felt alone. You're my only brother, and I felt that if you started dating her, all the attention would shift to her.
So what did you tell her?
Nothing exaggerated, just the things that you do at home that will make girls like her feel you're gross.
Oh no. Did you tell her about my bedroom?
I'm sorry about earlier. I know you'd want to be with Amos in a crisis.
Hiya, the world did end. We are still in the hideout.
I told you guys this was not going to happen. Let's get home before our parents kill us.
That was an exciting episode.
I laughed at James opening up his heart only for the world not to end.
No. James needed to open up his heart. I mean, I think it was time for there's no way I can defend him, is there? It was funny. It was just funny.
Well, I'm not the only one who is worried about the climate.
Maya, it's a good thing that you're concerned.
Yes, it's a very good thing that you're concerned. Now, to our friends in the studio, tell us, what buzzwords did you hear?
Temperature. Wind. Storm. Mist.
Great work, everyone. I see you were all watching keenly. Hey, the buzzer can only mean one thing.
That's right. It means that we have to go into the learning zone and join Teacher Pendo as she tightens our English skills.
Yes, it's time for Cool Words.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Teacher Pendo.
Welcome to Cool Words. Now, on the table, I've got some strange words. Now, I call them strange because I have some letters in them which you do not sound out when we say these words. Now, they are called silent letters. Now, are you curious to find out what words we have here on the table?
Yes.
Oh, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Mara.
Please show us. I love surprises.
In a minute. But first, let's look at these headings on the board and let's read them out loud together.
Silent GH, silent L, silent W, silent K, silent B.
Well done. Now next, each one of you will take turns in picking out a word from the table and then reading it out loud for us in a clear voice. You will then tell me the appropriate heading to place it under. Are we all ready?
Yes.
Okay, Mara, would you like to go first?
Yes. Eyesight. Silent GH.
Well done. Silent GH. Who'd like to go next? Wangoi?
Should, silent L.
Silent L. Should. Well done. Someone else? Kirungu?
Knock, silent K.
Aha, very good. Silent K at the start of the word. Knock. Yes?
Chalk, silent L.
Silent L. Chalk. Well done. Someone? Yes, Jerry?
Com, silent B.
Well done. Silent B on com. Well done. We have many more. Who wants to go next, Marara?
Oh, thumb. Silent B.
Well done. Silent B. Okay. Who else? Wangoi?
Wrist, silent W.
Silent W on wrist. Well done. Kirungu?
8, silent GH.
Silent GH on 8. Brilliant. 2 more to go. Mwanjala?
2, silent W.
Silent W on 2. And the last one, Jerry?
Me, silent K.
Very good. Ni. Silent K. Well done, everyone. Now, these are only some examples of silent words. Why don't you try and think of some more at home? Now, I would like us to look at this chart I came across. Now, it contains some information that I am going to share with you and you at home. Now, listen very carefully. It says, do not stand beside or near a tree. Do not shelter on the veranda of a house. Sit or stand in a dry place in the house. Do not play or stand in puddles or running water. Do not walk in an open place. If a storm begins, move quickly to a safe place. And lastly, do not carry pointed things with the sharp part pointing to the sky. Now, what do you think this chart is about? Yes, Kirungu?
I think it's a warning about a thunderstorm.
Probably. Any other ideas? Yes, Wangoi?
Is it a warning on how to behave during a thunderstorm?
Yes, it is. Now, this information tells us what to do and not to do in a storm to avoid being struck by lightning. Now, why do you think we shouldn't stand near a tree in a thunderstorm? Yes, Jerry?
Because trees are more likely to be hit by lightning.
Very good. And what else should we avoid? Yes, Manjala?
Open spaces because of the lightning.
Good answer.
Teacher Pendo?
Yes, Mara.
Is lightning that dangerous?
Yes, it is. Now, lightning kills. It is therefore very important for everyone to know what to do to prevent such deaths. Now, people who live in areas where this happens often should always be wary during thunderstorms.
Oh, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Mara.
Now, next time there's a thunderstorm, I'm going to watch the flashes of lightning from the safety of my own bedroom.
That's good to know. Now on the board, we can see some words relating to weather and climate. Now I'd like us to take turns to come up with a sentence that describes each of them. Sunny, rainbow, foggy, thunder, cloud, drizzle. Now let me give you an example. I will use the word sunny. Sunny, a hot, dry day with no clouds in the sky. Who would like to go next with rainbow? Yes, Kirongo?
A rainbow is formed when the sun comes out after a rain shower.
Very good. What about foggy? Yes, Wangoi?
When it is foggy, it is hard to see.
Very good. Thunder. Yes, Jerry?
Thunder is a crashing noise that accompanies lightning during a storm.
Excellent. Let's use the word cloud. Yes, Manjala?
A cloud is made of water and it can signal rain.
Brilliant. And the last one, drizzle.
Oh, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Marara.
Drizzle is when it rains, but not too heavily.
Great work, all of you. Well, that's all we've got time for on today's Cool Words, but make sure you join us next time.
Teacher Pendo?
Yes, Marara.
My friend told me that cattle can predict rain.
Really? How?
That when they're expecting rain, they lie down so that they have somewhere dry. Is that true?
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I know someone who might know.
And who might that be?
Well, none other than our friend Maspidi. And it's time to see what he's up to on this week's episode of Out There.
Weather is the mix of events that happen each day in our atmosphere, including temperature, rainfall, and humidity. Weather is not the same everywhere. Perhaps it's hot, dry, and sunny today where you live. But in other parts of the world, it is cloudy, rainy, windy, or even snowing. The difference between weather and climate is a measure of time. Weather is what conditions of the atmosphere are over a short period of time. And climate is how the atmosphere behaves over relatively long periods of time. There are really a lot of components to weather, including sunshine, rain, cloud cover, wind, snow, freezing rain, thunderstorms, heat waves, and many more. Weather plays a crucial role in all life processes. Many activities could come to a standstill if prior notices on the weather conditions are not taken into consideration. Farmers need weather information to help them plan for the planting and harvesting of their crops. Airlines as well need weather information to know about local weather conditions in order to schedule their flights. But how do we get to know the weather conditions of a place on a specific day? Today we are revisiting the Kenya Meteorological Department and learn more on weather forecasting. Hey, here is my friend Bahati. Even though she says she's a little bit busy at the moment, I'm really excited, and so I will take a look around as we wait for her to join us. This is a wonderful place. I love the weather today. Beautiful clouds, fresh air. Look! Look at all this. Look at this one here. We will definitely have fun and learn a lot here in the science world today. Meteorologists use several weather instruments to read weather and climate changes. The sun is perhaps the largest influence on our planet's weather and climate. This is because the amount of sunlight a location receives will determine its climate. A sunshine recorder is a device that records the amount of sunshine at a given location. The sunshine recorder is comprised of a glass canister that directs sunlight onto a card that is treated with a special chemical. The sunlight burns or chars a mark onto the card. This marking, called a trace, is measured and converted into a duration of time. However, modern sunshine recorders use electronics and computers for precise data that do not depend on a human interpreter. On the other hand, anemometers are used to measure wind speed and the direction that it is blowing. The caps catch the wind, turning a dial attached to the instrument. To obtain an accurate reading, the wind vane must be located well above the ground and away from buildings, trees, and other objects which may interfere with the true wind direction. A wind vane is an instrument that determines the direction from which the wind is blowing. Most wind vanes have directional markers beneath the arrows. A rain gauge measures the amount of rain that has fallen over a specific time period. Rain gauge is a meteorological instrument for determining the depth of precipitation, usually in millimeters, that occurs over a unit area, usually 1 meter squared, and thus measuring rainfall amount. The rate of evaporation is defined as the amount of water lost by evaporation from a unit area of the surface in unit time. Evaporation is generally measured at meteorological stations using a pan evaporimeter. The measurement of water evaporation is important in agriculture, in the design and operation of reservoirs, and in irrigation and drainage systems. A thermometer measures the air temperature. Most thermometers are closed glass tubes containing liquids such as alcohol or mercury. When air around the tube hits the liquid expands and moves up the tube. A scale then shows what the actual temperature is. Hygrometers are instruments used for measuring humidity. A simple form of a hygrometer is specifically known as a psychrometer and consists of 2 thermometers, one of which includes a dry bulb and the other of which includes a bulb that is kept wet to measure wet bulb temperature. Evaporation from the wet bulb lowers the temperature so that the wet bulb thermometer usually shows a lower temperature than that of the dry bulb thermometer. Look, good people, what happens to your hair when it's cold and wet? Mine shrinks and becomes really short. You are wondering what this has to do with the hygrometers, aren't you? Now, the hair tension hygrometers uses the human or animal hair under tension. And just like your hair, the length of the hair changes with humidity. The resistance during the length change may be indicated on a dial or scale, just like the graph here. The resistance of the hair makes the pen draw the line, showing the specific temperature reading. Wow, that has been really educative. Bye-bye for now. See you next week. Goodbye.
Oh, thank you so much, Maspidi. You always enlighten us.
Yes, and he always has fun doing that. Now, Mara, did you enjoy that?
Yes, I did. And you know, right now I have a much better idea about climate change, which is why I'm going to limit how much water I use in a day.
Marara, I don't think you quite understand, the whole climate change thing. And just because you want to preserve the environment, which is great, doesn't mean that you should make yourself get thirsty.
Wait, Charlie. Do you care about climate change as much as I do?
You're challenging me about how much I care about the environment. The guy who has solar panels on the roof of his house, you're challenging me.
Solar panels.
Yes.
Okay, stop. We have a show to get to, so let's move on quickly. It's that time when we test our mathematical skills.
That's right. It's time for the Big Three.
Welcome to the Big Three.
Now, here it is all about your numbers. There are 2 teams. There are 3 sums, and there are 5 seconds for our teams to solve the sums. Whichever team wins is the team that solves the most sums correctly, which means that they get to take these wonderful books back to their school, courtesy of our friends, the Longhorn Publishers.
Now, if the scores are tied at the end, we will move into a tiebreaker question.
And in this game, you only hear the question once, and you will only see the question written down at the end of the game.
Right, now, you must answer the question and write down your answer on the answer pad provided within 5 seconds. Or your answer will not count even if it's correct. Are the rules clear?
Yes! Brilliant. Now, for you at home, make sure that you play along. See if you can match up to our best team. Marara, are you ready? Do you have your stopwatch?
Oh, yes, I do.
Excellent. Let us get to that first sum. 11 times 2 minus 11 plus 1 divided by 6 is what?
Start the clock. And stop.
Okay, time is up. Teams, please don't show your answer right now. Let's move on to the next sum. 13. Take away 13 times 13 plus 12 divide by 2 equals...
Start the clock. And stop. Whoa.
This is an intense round. I mean,
yes, it is.
It's really, really tight. I can feel this one's going to be good. Last sum, number 3. Here we go. 5 plus 6 multiplied by 2 minus 2 divided by 2 is what?
Start the clock. And stop. Time's up. Time is up.
That was very exciting. Now let's find out how everyone did. Team A, please show us your answer for the first sum.
Team A. Whoa, they have a 2.
That's good. All right, Team B, let's see what you got.
Team B, oh, you did not complete the sum. Did you run out of time? Well,
I think
don't worry, Charlie.
Well, it's fine if they run out of time, but let's find out if they were on the right track. 11 multiplied by 2, that's 22. Minus 11, hey, we're back at 11. Plus 1, that's 12. Divided by 6, the answer is 2.
Wow, good job there, Team A. Clearly you got it, but Team B, do not worry. We still have 2 more sums to go. So, Team A, please show us your answer for the second sum.
And Team A have, they have a 6.
Okay, Team B, let's see what you got.
And Team B has a 6 as well.
Are they both correct?
Well, I think this one was a bit of a tricky question,
yes,
and that was done intentionally. Let's see how tricky it was. 13 minus 13, that is a 0. Multiplied by 13, anything by 0 is still 0. Now, plus 12 actually becomes 12 divided by 2. The answer is 6.
Whoa, good job to both teams. It's getting heated in here. Let's move on to the third sum. Team A, please show us your answer for the third sum.
And Team A have a 10.
Team B, let's see what you have.
What? Team B has, what? That's a 20.
Wow. Now, let's see how both our teams did and who is taking these books, or if we're going into a tie breaker. 5 plus 6 is 11. Multiplied by 2, that's 22. Minus 2, that's 20. Divided by 2, the answer is 10.
Whoa, well, Team A, you are the winners for today, and you get to walk away with our fabulous textbooks. Now, Team B, do not worry. Marana, what did you learn from that?
Well, I learned to do my mathematics, and I also learned that 0 multiplied by anything is still 0.
That's right. Now, for you at home, I hope you enjoyed playing the Big Three, and I hope you are as happy as Team A. But if you enjoyed the Big Three so much, make sure to join Teacher Pendo for more fun with math on hot numbers.
Now, do not go anywhere because coming up in the next half of the show, we have bus stories and career zone.
Not to mention, we still have Wild Zone, hot numbers, and the ultimate test of your spelling. There's still Spell It.
Whoa. Yeah, spell it. That and so much more right here on the KnowZone. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Some good water. Yeah. We're so happy to have you with us on the show.
Well, Charlie, are you using too much water? Like, think about the climate. Think about the climate.
Marara, we have already explained. Climate change doesn't mean we limit the amount of water we drink. It's about using our resources responsibly.
Right. Charlie, I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. Fist bump? Don't worry about it. Anyway, back to the show. Now, why don't we find out what the buzzwords are for this episode?
Temperature, wind, storm, mist.
Climate change is really important and we need to ensure that we look after our planet for future generations.
Wise words, Marara. Now, climate change is particularly important to our wildlife. So let's find out how they're getting on. It's time for Wild Zone.
Hi there. On today's episode, we are going to look at how man's activities are affecting our panther's natural habitat.
As Big Guy moves on, territorial conflicts with male rivals will give him more problems. He needs space, and in Florida, space is rapidly running out, increasingly hemmed in by highways and canals. The life of a young male panther is a highly competitive one, even under the best conditions. But the linchpin of this ecosystem is water, and the water is now being controlled by man, sometimes wisely, more often not. The slightest miscalculation can cut off whole regions. The water will become stagnant. Pollutants will concentrate. Birds and animals will die out. A single male panther may require a range of 400 square miles. Roadways and canals crisscrossing and interrupting their habitat have forced them to range even farther. As Big Guy traveled in search of territory and prey, he would have come across many of the changes that have occurred to this once pristine and wild ecosystem. Everywhere he turns, Big Guy soon comes up against humanity, relentlessly closing in on his land. Roads are the biggest killers of Florida panthers. Between 1978 and 1988, at least 11 deaths were caused by road collisions, perhaps a quarter of the entire Florida panther population.
Oh no, I hope Big Guy is okay. Be sure to tune in next week to find that out.
That was an interesting episode.
I know. I mean, all of these things that animals can cope with, they are amazing.
Absolutely. And if you would like to know more about Mara's animal friends, you should join the KnowZone Club.
Now, here's how it's done. All you have to do is send us a text with the word zone, plus your name and your address to
5606. Yes, and you will become an instant KnowZone Club member. Wait, don't forget to ask your parents to help you send the text.
know what that sound means. It's time for...
Hot numbers.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Teacher Pendo.
Welcome to today's hot number section. Now, in our lesson today, we are going to be learning about speed. Now, can someone give me a definition of what speed is? Yes, Wankoi?
Speed is the measure of how fast or slow someone or something is going.
Very good. I couldn't have said it better myself. Now, speed is the measure of how fast or slowly something is moving. It is expressed in terms of distance covered in a unit of time.
Oh, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Marara.
Are we going to play a game?
No, Marara. I am going to use these balls to demonstrate something. Now, I want you to watch very carefully. Okay, so Marara, can you tell us what you have observed?
Well, one of the balls was moving faster than the second ball. So I think it was moving at a higher speed.
That's right, Marara. Now, as I said earlier, speed is a measure of the distance covered per unit time. So if we want to calculate the speed, we simply divide the distance covered by the time it takes to cover the distance. Now, we express speed in kilometers per hour or in meters per second. Now, we use kilometers per hour when we are covering long distances like from Nairobi to Mombasa or from Kenya to Tanzania. Now, when we are covering short distances, for example, running 100 meters in athletics or throwing a stone, we use meters per second. For example, if a bus covers a distance of 80 kilometers in 2 hours, then its speed is 80 kilometers divided by 2, which gives us 40 kilometers per hour. Now, if we know the speed and the time taken, we can then calculate the distance. Now, in this case, 40 kilometers per hour multiplied by 2 gives us 80 kilometers. So if we know any two of the variables, then we can calculate the third.
Teacher Pendo?
Yes, Marara?
I'm not sure I understand.
Don't worry, Marara. Maybe this is going to help. This is what my teacher used to teach me when I was in primary school.
Teacher Pendo, you were in a primary school?
Well, I went to primary school too.
Hey, look, it's a triangle.
Well, it is a triangle, but not just any kind of triangle. Now, this triangle gives us a relationship between distance, speed, and time. So distance divided by time gives us speed. And distance divided by speed gives us time. And finally, speed multiplied by time gives us distance. Now, let's go through some examples. If Marara takes 4 hours to complete his journey at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour, how long was his journey? Yes, Otieno?
80 times 4 is 320. So his journey was 320 kilometers.
Very good. Now you multiplied speed by time to calculate distance. And I'm really impressed by you guys. You're doing really well. Now another question. If Moirori runs a distance of 100 meters at a speed of 10 meters per second, how many seconds does it take him? Yes, Marara?
Well, now, if time is calculated by dividing distance by speed, then we divide 100 meters by 10 meters per second. So our answer will be 10 seconds?
Excellent, well done. Now another example. If I was driving my car at a constant speed of 20 kilometers per hour and I traveled for 100 kilometers, how long was I driving for? Yes, Moirore?
100 divided by 20 is 5. So you were traveling for 5 hours.
Oh, Teacher Pendo?
Yes, Mara.
Now that was a very long journey. I think you ought to try driving a bit faster. I can run faster than that.
Oh, Marara. Okay, final question. If Marara was running at 20 meters per second and he ran for 50 seconds, what distance would he have traveled for? Yes, Judy?
50 multiplied by 20 is 1,000 meters. So 1,000 meters.
Very good. Now we can also express 1,000 meters in kilometers. Now who can tell me how many meters there are in a kilometer? Yes, Wangoi?
1,000 meters.
Very good. So how do we express 1,000 meters? Yes, Otieno?
1 kilometer.
Very good. So 1,000 meters is the same as 1 kilometer. Well done. Now, how many seconds are there in 1 hour? Yes, Moirore?
There are 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. So 60 multiplied by 60 is 3,600.
Very good. Now remember, it is very important to know your times tables. So 1 kilometer per hour is equals to 1,000 meters per 3,600 seconds. Now this can be simplified as 5/18. So when converting kilometers per hour to meters per second, we simply multiply the number by 5/18. Let's have a look at an example. So with 18 kilometers per hour, it means we are traveling 18 kilometers in 1 hour, which we can express as 18/1. So what we do is multiply 18/1 by 5/18, which gives us 90/18, which gives us 5. Therefore, we can say 18 kilometers per hour is the same as 5 meters per second. Now, how do you think we convert meters per second to kilometers per hour? Judy, do you want to give it a try?
Yes. Do we divide by 5/18?
Okay, so we divide by 5/18. Now remember that when you are dealing with fractions, instead of dividing, we can switch the denominator and the numerator and then multiply. So when converting from meters per second to kilometers per hour, we multiply by 18/5. Now let's look at another example. 25 meters per second is expressed as 25/1, which we multiply by 18/5, which gives us 450/5 equals to 90. Therefore, we say that 25 meters per second is the same as 90 kilometers per hour.
Wow, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Mara.
Now, all this multiplying by fractions is really confusing me. Is there a simpler way?
Well, Marara, if it helps, think of it this way. Whatever distance you travel in a second, you multiply by 3,600 to find out the distance in an hour.
Right, I get it. So, because we said that there are 3,600 seconds in an hour.
Exactly. So 10 meters in a second would mean that in an hour we could travel 36,000 meters. Now we also said that 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So 36,000 meters equals...
Oh, 36 kilometers, 36 kilometers.
Okay, so 10 meters per second is equal to 36 kilometers per hour. Now to work out how many meters per second from kilometers per hour, you do the reverse. So you multiply the kilometers by 1,000 to find out the meters and then divide by 3,600 to work out the distance traveled in a second.
Oh, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Mara.
Now, dividing by 3,600 sounds so complicated.
Exactly, which is why multiplying by 18/5 or 5/18 is very straightforward.
Oh, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Mara.
Now I get it.
Excellent. Well done, all of you. Now make sure you practice at home. But for now, we're out of time on hot numbers.
Whoa, Teacher Pendo.
Yes, Mara.
I'm going to calculate how fast I can run in meters per second and in kilometers per hour.
Great, you do that. But now it's time for Career Zone.
Can you tell us a little about yourself?
My name's Leslie Bunge. I'm a flight dispatch operations officer at Fly 540 Fulton Airport.
How did you find yourself in this line of work?
Since I was a little girl, I've always wanted to work in the aviation industry, and I've always admired to be in aviation, to deal with aircraft, to deal with foreigners, and every time I study or I went through my studies, I've always had that in mind that one day I'll have to work in the aviation industry, and that has been motivating me.
Did you need any qualifications, training, or experience for your job?
After Form 4, I joined a college, it's called Nairobi Aviation College, where I studied a flight dispatch and operations control. The course took me 1 year.
Please tell us what you do in a typical day.
As a dispatcher, you have to be up really early in the morning because we have all the early flights in the morning. So I wake up at around 5. I'll prepare myself to be here at 6 o'clock. So when I come here at around 6, I check on the system all the bookings of that have been done for the day. And after checking all the bookings, I arrange for the crew. I have to have all the crew for the day. And after that, I relax, have a cup of coffee, which we are provided by the airline, as I wait for the passengers to come in. So after the passengers have checked in, we checked in the passengers, take their baggage, give them the boarding passes. After that, we also go to arrange the paperwork because you have to clear the passengers and all the paperwork at the customs. After that, you give them catering, you give them food, like we always have them food, water and sandwiches on board, and you make sure that everyone has water and sandwich, and that's the end of dispatch. And then you wait for now when it's coming back from whatever the destination.
What are the main challenges of your job?
Apart from dealing with a problematic customer, you also have a problem when the problem arises with the technical thing. Maybe that you realize that maybe the aircraft has a tech problems and you have to delay the flight. That's another problem that we face in the aviation industry. Also, weather. Weather is another thing. Maybe you are scheduled to fly in the morning and you realize that the weather is really bad, and we can't risk flying our aircraft when the weather is not promising.
Looking into the future, do you have an overall career goal?
Yeah, I have a career goal. Like in future, I want to be an operations manager. Yeah, in this one big airline. Yeah. So I'm really working hard. I have to get all the license because for you to be a manager and to manage all the aircraft, you have to have the license. So in aviation industry, you have to keep on learning because so many things are changing, and you have to be at par with the changes that's coming. So I really need to study hard for me to achieve that goal of being an operations manager.
What advice would you give anyone interested in your line of work?
Yeah, I will advise anyone who will want to join in aviation industry to really work hard and to work hard and to study hard, because in the aviation industry you have to be really smart in studies.
Another fantastic career profile.
Yes, you know what? I think this is it. I have found a career.
Wait, you mean this is the career for you? Only time will tell, Marara, although I get the feeling next week you'll change your mind.
No, Charlie, no. This is really it.
Okay, then.
Good for you, Marara, because I have a sneaking suspicion that you are about to perform a vanishing trick.
Oh, well, I will?
Well, yes, because we are about to step into the part of the KnowZone where Marara is too frightened to stick around.
Well, okay. Now, you see, I need to go because I need to check out something to do with the climate. So, everyone, bye.
But, wow.
You see, now it's time for us to put our spelling caps on and test how many words we can spell correctly.
Well, it's time for Spell It.
animal, tractor, building, narrow, respect, meter, deep, vegetable, work. Welcome to Spell It. Njeri, Mwanjala, and Wangoi. Now you are about to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight to compete for the title of today's KnowZone Spelling Champion. The winner will walk away with their very own KnowZone dictionary.
Now each contestant has just 30 seconds to spell correctly as many words as possible. All of the words are related to today's theme, climate and weather. Now if you would like to hear the word again, just say repeat and the words will be repeated for you. Each word is worth 1 point. So the more words you spell correctly, the higher your chances of winning. Are the rules clear?
Yes. All right. Wangoi, you are up first. Please take your place on the spelling zone.
Wangoi, your 30 seconds start now.
Clear.
C-L-E-A-R.
Mist.
M-I-S-S-E-D.
Clouds.
C-L-U-O-U-D.
Foggy.
Pass.
Climate.
C-L-I-M-A-T-E.
Storm.
S-T-O-R-M.
Shower.
Pass.
Temperature.
Pass.
Gloomy.
G-L.
Time is up. Well done.
Mwanjala, you are up next. Please take your place on the spelling zone.
Mwanjala, your 30 seconds start now.
Duck.
D-A-R-K.
Rain.
R-A-I-N.
Chilly.
C-H-I-L-L-Y.
Cloudy.
C-R-O-U-D-Y.
Rainbow.
R-A-I-N-B-O-W.
Humid. Weather. Drought.
D-R-O-U-G-H-T.
Windy.
W-I-N-D-Y.
Time is up. Well done, Mwanjala. Well done.
Njeri, you are up next. Please take your place on the spelling zone.
Njeri, your 30 seconds start now.
Fog.
F-O-G.
Wind.
W-I-N-D.
Misty.
M-I-S-T-Y.
Floods.
F-L-O-D.
Sunshine.
S-U-N-S-H-I-N-E.
Thunder. Lightning.
L-I-G-H-T-I-N-G.
Celsius. Overcast.
O-V-E-R-C-U-S-T.
Torrential. Weather.
W-E-A-T-H-E-R.
Humid.
Time's up. That was a wonderful round of Spell It. I think we can jump straight into the results. Wangoi, Janet gave you the word mist to spell. The word was M-I-S-T. You also left the letter S out of clouds. Mwanjala, you jumped the word humid. Njeri, Janet gave you the word floods. However, the word you spelt was flood, minus the S as well. That being said, in third place, we have Wangoi. Let's give her a round of applause. You don't have to come for it. That's all right. Which leaves us with Mwanjala and Njeri. And I can now state that in second place with 5 points, we have Njeri, meaning today's winner with a total of 8 points. Ladies and gentlemen, our Spell It champion is Mwanjala. Step forward, Mwanjala. Congratulations, you are today's KnowZone Spelling Champion. Here's your dictionary. Show everyone at home your prize. Another round of applause. Step back, Mwanjala.
Wow, Wow, congratulations, Mwanjala. Now, Wangoi and Jerry, do not worry. We still have prizes for you for spelling as many words correctly, thanks to our friends at Longhorn Publishers.
Oh, that was an amazing edition of Spell It. I feel so energized.
How do you feel about a trip?
A trip? Seriously? That is so cool. Where are we going?
You're not going anywhere, but I know some people who are. So let's join our friends on Bus Stories.
Specs, please could you help me with my maths homework? The maths equations that we are doing are really hard.
Who am I kidding? I'm no better than you. In fact, I'm probably worse.
Specs, you're better at equations than me.
Really? I'm not better at anything than anyone. I'm just an ordinary citizen, not going anywhere fast.
Specs, let me tell you something.
I know. Once there was a superhero called Specs. He had magical spectacles, and then they were lost, and then he found them and knew everything was okay. But really, Raha, really, I'm not feeling very heroic today.
Well. It seems you're not in the mood for superheroes today, but I can tell you one of my stories.
Once, there was a ferryman whose job was to row people across a deep, wide river so that they could continue with their journeys. The travelers hardly ever spoke to him, as they were always too busy thinking about where they were traveling to and the family and friends they were about to see again. Every so often, a rich man would travel across the river. He was unkind to the ferryman, calling him names and drawing attention to his old clothes and shoes. The ferryman didn't like the man. Really, he didn't like any of the people who traveled on his boat backwards and forwards across the river. It was hard work, and they never thanked him. Sometimes the people even complained if he rode them too slowly or too fast. And the ferryman always wished he had somewhere to travel to himself. Why couldn't he be like them? His life seemed so pointless.
What was the ferryman's superpowers? Could he turn water into ice? I hope so that he could turn the rich man into ice cubes and put him in a drink.
Sorry, Boomba. There are no superheroes in this one. He was just an ordinary working man.
Oh.
One day, a good-hearted young man came on a journey and needed the help of the ferryman. The young man was very poor and had already traveled for many miles. He had no money left. He told the ferryman that he was going on a journey to meet an old woman who knew all the answers to the questions in the world. Would the ferryman take him across the river if he promised to take the ferryman's questions to the woman? The ferryman, who was kind really, agreed and said, "Ask her this. Why do I have to row people back and forth across this river for my whole life?" So the boy crossed the river and went on with his journey. He walked into the center of a deep forest where an old woman lived in a tree that had been struck by lightning. The young man asked the ferryman's question first. The old woman laughed and replied, "That ferryman is a fool. All he has to do is hand over the oar to one of the travelers, and then he can jump out. He will be as free as a bird and can do as he pleases." The young man then asked his own question. The woman smiled. "Go back to the ferryman and ask him," she said.
Is the old woman a witch?
Maybe.
The young man was surprised at this answer. but he obediently wandered back through the forest until he reached the bank of the deep, wide river. Once he had crossed to the other bank, he told the ferryman the old woman's answer. Then he asked the ferryman his own question. "How can I earn money to look after my family?" he asked. "I don't know. Why ask me?" he answered. The young man was very disappointed. Not knowing what to do next, he simply sat down under a grevillea tree on the riverbank, and the ferryman also waited. Just then, the rich man came striding along the bank. "You boy!" he shouted at the young man. "Where's the ferryman?" The young man pointed. The rich man climbed into the ferryman's boat. "Be quick," he told him. "I have somewhere important to be." But the ferryman smiled and said, "Yes, sir. Hold this for a moment." And he handed him the oar. And the ferryman leapt out of the boat onto the bank. The rich man could not climb out of the boat, however hard he tried. He shouted for the young man to help. The young man roused himself and climbed down the riverbank. "Row me across," shouted the rich man. But the young man was cleverer than that. "Give me a bag of gold coins and I will," he said. The rich man did, but the boy never climbed into the boat. And to this day, the rich man is still rowing the boat back and forwards across the deep, wide river.
Wow, Teacher Mary. That wasn't a bad story.
Well, you don't get to my age without learning a story or two.
Yeah, that rich man really learned his lesson.
I liked the part where the ferryman realized that he just needed to take the opportunities which life gave him and not think about what people thought of him. He's not traveling around the world, just like he dreamt of.
I liked that bit best. Now, what is the answer to question 5?
Brilliant story. Did you all enjoy it?
Yes! Oh, yeah, me too. And I've learned so much about climate change. In fact, I'm going to make my own solar panels so that I can be like Charlie and make use of reusable energy.
Marara, you do know that I bought those solar panels.
Oh, what? You did? Well, but I'll do anything to save our environment.
Well, that's good, Marara, and nobody can doubt your enthusiasm. But right now, we need to say goodbye to our studio guests.
Yes, thank you all so much for joining us today.
And for you at home, thank you for tuning in.
Now, if you want to contact us, just ask your parents to help you send a text with the word zone plus your name and address to 5606 and you will become an instant KnowZone Club member.
That's right, and we look forward to having more fun-filled action next week on Saturday right here on the KnowZone.
Until then, come on everyone, let's say goodbye.
Bye!